Hello, my name is Jack Lingner, Safety Coordinator with Webb-Rite Safety out of Port Allen, Louisiana. We've designed a barge kit for AEP to use as a horizontal lifeline on our barges to protect their employees from falling either into grain hatches or sliding off the slope side of the cover and onto the gunnel or water. It's set up for ease of deployment and consists of several components. In the side pocket, you will find a shock absorber and rope tensioner that will be attached at one end of the barge, either to the kevel or to the welded D-ring. Inside of the bag is a horizontal lifeline that comes with 4 rings. This system is designed to support up to 4 employees on it at any given time. This will be attached to the kevel or the welded D-ring at the opposite end of the barge. In the opposite pocket, you will find 2 anchor straps. These will be attached to the kevel so that you can anchor your system at either end, and rope softeners to protect your rope. This system is designed to use on either fiberglass or a metal top barge. It will protect your rope from either jagged edges on the fiberglass or from the sharp edges on the metal barges in the event you dynamically load the system. When you go to rig up this system, you need to assess where you're going to put your anchorage points at. Ideally, you want to avoid putting the rope in the middle of your ladders. You're going to need to pick an anchorage point that will keep your rope clear of that. Acceptable anchorage points are going to be either the kevel, or we have welded D-rings on the surface of most of the barges. If that will give you more clearance away from the ladder, you can use that. In this event, we're going to use one of these kevels. Ideally, you always want the strap to be completely captured, which means we're going to go through either the eye of this kevel or the eye of the D-ring. If the barge is exposed, you're always going to want to start at the exposed end of the barge, because that way the shock absorber will be on an end of the barge that is closed off. When you go to put your anchor strap on, you're going to notice that there's a yellow side and a blue side to your anchor strap. The weight-bearing portion of this strap is the blue strap. This yellow one is the same material that is made for your rope softeners, and this is here to protect the blue portion of the strap. Never put the blue portion of this strap on the metal. When you thread this strap, you're going to need to go through the eye of the kevel and make several wraps. If this is the exposed end of the barge, you're going to want your working area as far away from this edge as possible. That will eliminate you going over the edge. You can also take, if it's an exposed end of the barge, and you can anchor your lanyard off through the center of the kevel as well while you're working to protect yourself from going over the edge. Once you get this wrapped with the blue side away from the metal, you can pass this through the fabric eye that is on the anchor strap. And this will give you an anchorage point secure enough to support all 4 people that are going to be on this system. Once you have that secured, you want to take the rope out of the rope bag, just the carabiner end, and your rings. You need to secure this to the double D-rings of your anchor strap, making sure that this twists shut and it is locked so that it's not going to come off the anchor strap should it be dynamically loaded. When you're rigging up on one of these barges with this system, you need to always do this under the buddy system, because you're not going to have a lifeline until this rig up is complete. That way, if for any reason you do fall over the side or whatever, you do have someone here for assistance. Also, always make sure that you're tied off to either the ladder or another anchor point. On an exposed end of the barge, you're going to want to leave yourself enough strap to get you away from having to work too close to the edge of it. This will minimize your hazard. Once you do have it all rigged up and you've assured that everything is tied off and your carabiners are locked, you want to take the barge kit and set it up on the deck, on the cover of the barge. These bags are designed so that they deploy very easily. The rope will just play out of the bag as you walk. All you have to do is give yourself a little bit of room, and you can either put it on straps or just put one over your shoulder. And as you walk down the barge, this will play out. Once you reach the other end of the barge, you can put your barge bag down on the barge top. Just take a look back, make sure your rope is played out with no knots and no kinks along the barge cover. After you climb down the ladder, you can then bring the barge kit down to here. Now you're going to need one of the other anchor straps that's in the kit to go to the kevel on this end of the barge. You're going to thread the kevel the same way you did on the other end. This side, you don't need to leave a lot of slack to get away from the barge edge because it isn't exposed, and it's going to give you more clearance for your anchor strap and for your shock absorber. You can go to both eyes of your barge strap in order to take up some of the slack closer to the kevel. You then need to remove your shock absorber and your rope tensioner. You need to inspect it to make sure that the shock absorber is not played out, that the bolts are at the end of the travel on it, and that none of this is exposed past the shoulders. Again, once you get it in place, make sure that your carabiner is locked in place and that the blue is not going to be anywhere on the metal before you put tension on it. To put tension on this system, you simply need to take all your rope out of your bag and have your partner pull all of the excess rope through the system. This system only needs to be tightened to hand tight so that there's enough play in the rope to work as a shock absorber as well as the shock absorber itself. Take all of your excess rope, place it back in the bag along with any unused hardware rope softeners, and that'll help minimize any of your tripping hazards and soiling the rope with any debris that's on the barge gunnel. Double check your system and make sure that everything is in working order. There are no knots, no kinks. If it passes inspection, it's clear for you to use as a horizontal lifeline for your crew. Rigging the system down is actually a very easy procedure. It's the opposite of the procedure to rig it up. Take it apart first at the free end, opposite the shock absorber and the rope tensioner. Return all the anchor straps, rope protectors, and the rope back to the bag, and you can return it to storage, ready to deploy for the next barge that needs cleaning. If you have any questions, please contact your supervisor